Using the combined technological force of McLaren's vast racing history, the McLaren P1 is a hypercar built with no compromise. Borrowing technology from McLaren's winning Formula One cars, the P1 features an electric motor combined with a twin-turbo V8, creating a combined 903 horsepower. The P1 also features technology banned from racing, like adaptive suspension and brake steering. No technology or expertise has been wasted on the development of the P1. The electric engine alone generates 161 horsepower, as much as a small hatchback. Each body panel on the P1 is shaped to provide downforce or cooling. The brakes are carbon ceramic discs infused with silicon carbide, one of the hardest substances on Earth. Technology developed for the space program to dissipate heat upon re-entry into the atmosphere. The P1 is a true exclusive. Only 375 will be built. Priced at $1.15 million each, it is the most expensive production car McLaren has ever made. The Bugatti Veyron is all about numbers. Top speed, acceleration, even the number of radiators. The most impressive number of all might be the price. The Bugatti Veyron costs more than a private jet. Of course, if you're rich enough to afford a Bugatti Veyron, you're probably immune to sticker shock. Tom Cruise, Simon Cowell, and Tom Brady are among the elite who own the Veyron, which has become the automotive mecca of engineering and performance. The enormous expense might be justified. The Bugatti Veyron is the fastest, most powerful production car in the world, reaching a record 268 miles per hour. The mid-engine Grand Touring car was also named Car of the Decade in 2010 by Top Gear. Host Jeremy Clarkson has called the Veyron the greatest car we will ever see in our lifetime. the 1960s, Ford was deeply invested in the high-stakes world of racing. Nothing defined this ultra-competitive era more than Ford's bitter rivalry with Ferrari. Henry Ford II tried to buy Ferrari, but when the company's founder backed out at the last minute, an enraged Ford became obsessed with building his own Ferrari beater. The result was the GT40. Ford faced off against the reigning champion Ferrari in 1966. Ferrari, who had won 6 straight years at Le Mans, was dealt a crushing defeat by the Ford GT40, with Ford capturing all 3 podium spots. The GT40 went on to win Le Mans 4 times in a row from 1966 to 1969. The legacy lives on today with the Ford GT, a modern, updated version of the classic GT40. The new Ford GT still retains the timeless style of the original. When Christian von Koenigsegg founded his company in 1994, its sole purpose was to build a globally competitive supercar. Built in a former military jet hangar, each Koenigsegg leaves the factory with a ghost painted on the back, the symbol of the fighter squadron that used to fly out of the decommissioned base. Koenigsegg cars are shaped by science. This analytical approach led to numerous technological breakthroughs: triplex suspension, camless engines, and air-core carbon fiber wheels. The company's greatest achievement, however, came in 2005, when the Koenigsegg CCR broke the world record for fastest production car. The vehicle reached 241.63 miles per hour. The CCR also holds another road record, the fastest speeding ticket in the United States. The driver was allegedly ticketed for going 167 miles per hour over the speed limit. As the son of a service station owner in Auckland, New Zealand, Bruce McLaren grew up surrounded by cars. When he was 22, McLaren became the youngest racer ever to win a Grand Prix. His racing team would go on to be one of the most successful in Formula One history. Bruce McLaren's motto was no compromise. This philosophy would carry over to the McLaren production team, who are obsessed with perfection and quality. The McLaren Technology Center takes the company's famous attention to detail to the next level. Every room in the facility is custom built for the fanatical car builders. Even the cafeteria is specially designed to have lower air pressure so smells don't escape the area. In 1992, they produced the fastest and most technologically advanced production car of its time, the legendary McLaren F1. Since then, McLaren's unrelenting quest for excellence has catapulted them to the forefront of supercar makers. As the tuning arm of Mercedes-Benz, AMG has produced some of the finest cars in the world. Unlike most companies who assemble their cars with robotic assembly lines, each AMG vehicle is handcrafted by a single technician. They start with a blank engine block and install every component. And after the engine has been thoroughly tested, a plaque with the technician's signature is placed on the engine cover. This stunning attention to detail has paid off handsomely for AMG. Since 1988, AMG-tuned cars have dominated DTM, the premier German touring car race league. With 160 race wins, 10 drivers' titles, and 15 constructors' titles, AMG is the most successful team in DTM history. In recent years, AMG's influence has expanded beyond Mercedes. Their unique handmade engines can now be found in supercars like the Pagani Huayra. Skyline is Nissan's premium sports brand, but the line was not originally designed for racing. The original Skyline was a mid-size family model, the first Japanese car made in Europe. The Skyline made its racing debut in the 1960s, winning several Japanese Grand Prix races. The car's long wheelbase and low-grip tires made the Skyline one of the first popular drifting cars. In 1969, the Skyline debuted its high-end performance model, GTR. It would become a high-tech, high-horsepower juggernaut. The R32 dominated Group A racing, scoring 29 straight victories over 4 seasons. The car also won the Japanese Grand Touring Championship in 1993 and set an all-wheel drive drag racing world record. Horatio Pagani grew up idolizing Leonardo da Vinci. Like da Vinci, Pagani hoped to someday combine his two great interests, art and science. When he built his first race car at the age of 20, it was clear he had found his calling. In 1992, Pagani set out to create the perfect supercar. The dream was finally realized with the Huayra, the latest of several high-end supercars designed by Pagani. Pagani's legendary attention to detail is reflected in every aspect of his company. Each car in the factory is built next to a glass display cabinet holding every detailed part. Workers must carefully align each piece of carbon fiber weave in a perfectly symmetrical way. If they don't line up, the parts are thrown out and the work starts all over again. Such painstaking perfection comes at a high price. Pagani's gauges alone often cost several times the price of an average economy car. Lexus was founded in 1983 by Toyota. The goal, to create a brand on par with European luxury cars. Lexus met and surpassed that goal, leading luxury sales for over a decade. The Lexus F-Sport program adds top-quality performance and accessories to an already spectacular brand. At the top of the program is the LFA Supercar, the most expensive Japanese production car ever made. The LFA was so costly to make that Lexus actually lost money on every car sold. The LFA inspired a whole line of F-Sport-tuned models, incorporating technology discovered during the creation of the supercar. Lexus offers 7 F-Sport-tuned editions, letting drivers experience the legendary Lexus perfection firsthand. Alfa Romeo created what some consider to be the most beautiful cars of all time. Despite their high-end appearance, though, these cars are surprisingly attainable. Alfa Romeo was a dominant force in the early days of auto racing, winning the first Automobile World Championship and first Formula One race along the way. They also were early innovators of variable valve timing, fuel injection, and double overhead cam engines, bringing racing pedigree into production street cars. Alfa Romeo, however, is famous for one thing: beauty. Even Henry Ford once admitted, "When I see an Alfa Romeo go by, I tip my hat." Racing enthusiasts have often said you cannot be a true petrolhead until you've owned an Alfa Romeo. But their popularity goes beyond car experts. The special edition Alfa Romeo Spider will always have a special place in pop culture history, appearing prominently in the classic 1967 film The Graduate. For the past century, Chevrolet's goal has been to make cars that are sporty, yet still attainable by the average driver. Along the way, they have produced some of the most iconic cars in American history. Started in 1913 by William C. Durant, co-founder of General Motors, and Louis Chevrolet, a well-known mechanic and race car driver, Chevrolet became one of the biggest names in the business. In 1955, Chevrolet's introduction of the small block V8 ushered in a new era of affordable high-performance vehicles. With their Camaro and Corvette lines, Chevrolet found themselves embroiled in a heated rivalry with fellow American car makers Ford and Dodge, a battle that would be waged in showrooms and racetracks around the world. Many have wondered about the origin of the name Camaro. When asked, Chevrolet once said a Camaro was a small, vicious animal that eats Mustangs. The two classic cars would go on to share one of the longest and most intense rivalries in the automotive world. The original 1967 Camaro came equipped with a modest inline six-cylinder or a variety of V8 engines. Its battle with the Mustang led to a horsepower war, with engine performance steadily rising with each generation. For years, the Camaro and Mustang raced head-to-head in the Trans Am series. The upstart Camaro won the title in only its second year. Currently, the Camaro ZL1 holds a blistering lap time on the Nürburgring of 7 minutes 41.27 seconds, faster than many high-end European GTs and supercars. Bentley was founded in 1919 with the plan to build a car that was the top of the line in every regard, combining luxury and refinement with outright speed. It proved to be a winning combination in motorsport, showcasing Bentley design and durability by dominating hill climbs, road courses, and oval tracks. In the 1920s, no other car could match their performance at Le Mans, where Bentley won 4 years in a row. The Bentley boys returned 80 years later to be Le Mans champions again in 2003. The performance of a modern Bentley is matched only by the attention to detail. Every vehicle is handcrafted, mixing pre-war production techniques with 21st century technology. For decades, this relentless pursuit of speed and luxury has prompted everyone from celebrities, business leaders, and royalty to get behind the wheel of a Bentley, whether cruising the rolling hills of the countryside or setting fastest laps at the racetrack. SRT is the performance division within the Chrysler Group, with roots dating back to the 1950s when a small team of engineers got together to generate more power from Dodge Hemi engines. Though operating under different names throughout their history, they became officially known as SRT in 2004. Using several race-proven techniques, including higher output engines, lighter wheels, tuned suspensions, and wind tunnel-tested aerodynamics, SRT models get a massive edge on competitors, costing many times their price. But SRT isn't just in the business of tuning existing cars. In 1992, the team shocked the world by creating the Dodge Viper, an American supercar with a V10 engine that was so extreme, several journalists refused to test drive it, believing it was beyond their capabilities to control. That legacy of power and performance carries on today as SRT applies their skills to many cars in the Chrysler Group's lineup. The spiritual successor to the legendary AC Cobra, the Dodge Viper was designed as a 60s-style race car with 90s technology. The idea was to put a huge engine, in this case a V10 Magnum usually found in pickup trucks, into a small sports car. The engine was so huge that the entire car had to be built around it. Its massive hood is the single most expensive American car part to replace. The 2013 Viper features the largest production car engine in the world at 8.4 liters. This massive power has propelled the Viper to victory on the racetrack. The Viper racing team has won at Le Mans 3 times, taking the top 6 spots in 1998 along the way. In 2011, a Viper ACRX set a Nürburgring class lap record of 7 minutes and 3 seconds. The Spirit In 1991, John Hennessy opened his own tuning shop in his home state of Texas. Over the last 20 years, Hennessy has become famous for his beefed-up Dodge Vipers and offering one of the first high-performance new generation Camaros. Today, Hennessy Performance Engineering upgrades a variety of cars, trucks, and SUVs to their maximum potential. The pinnacle of Hennessy's tuning knowledge is embodied in the Venom GT. The idea behind the Venom was simple: big American horsepower in a lightweight package. Hennessy started with a Lotus Exige, made it wider and longer, replaced the body panels with carbon fiber, and mounted a twin-turbo V8 that generates over 1,200 horsepower through a 6-speed transmission. The thrilling result is the fastest accelerating car currently available. With a passion for speed, Hennessy Performance Engineering continues to make fast cars go faster. From his humble beginnings as a Texas chicken farmer, Carroll Shelby rose to become a racing legend, first as a driver, then as an engineer. Behind the wheel, Shelby won the legendary 24 Hours of Le Mans endurance race and was twice named Sports Illustrated's Driver of the Year. After retiring from competition, Shelby went straight to work designing his ultimate race car. With a name that came to him in a dream, the Cobra would eventually win at Le Mans, making Shelby the only person to win the prestigious race as a driver, team owner, and manufacturer. Shelby has also partnered with Ford and Dodge to create high-powered versions of the Mustang and Charger, as well as original vehicles like the Viper and Ford GT, helping make the Shelby name synonymous with high speed and race-winning performance. When the name Jaguar is heard, one thinks of style and luxury. Started in 1922 as a motorcycle sidecar company, Jaguar began manufacturing cars after World War II. Jaguar soon became known for making high-quality, high-performance cars. Jaguar's trademark, however, is its unmatched beauty, which has been turning heads for several generations. Jaguars are built around aerodynamic principles, creating cars that are both stylish and functional. The sleek, streamlined curves led Enzo Ferrari to call the Jaguar E-Type the most beautiful car ever made. Known for its glamorous image, Jaguar has proven itself on the racetrack as well. Jaguar cars have twice held the title of fastest production car in the world and have won at Le Mans 7 times. Maserati has been at the forefront of Italian GT cars for nearly a century. Over the years, Maserati has teamed up with many of the world's biggest companies. Their partnership with Ferrari has been especially rewarding, combining Maserati's styling with the performance of Ferrari engines. Extreme care is taken when building each Maserati, using as much time as necessary to achieve perfection. On average, it takes over a month to build and inspect a single car before it leaves the factory floor. Maseratis have often been found in the winner's circle. They won back-to-back Indy 500s in 1939 and 1940 and took home the World Championship in 1957. After a tragic accident at Le Mans in 1964, however, Maserati would not be seen on the racetrack for more than 40 years. When they did finally return, Maserati would resume their winning tradition, taking 14 FIA GT titles in 5 years. Henry Ford was more than a car innovator. He changed the landscape of America forever. Working as an engineer for Thomas Edison in the 1890s, Henry Ford admired the genius of Edison and his keen eye for business. These traits inspired Ford to make his mark in a new industry, automobile manufacturing. When Ford founded his own company, he pioneered the assembly line production of automobiles, a dramatic shift that made cars affordable for the average person. In 1964, the Ford Company was still setting trends and shaping the industry with the unprecedented success of the Mustang, which helped kick off the era of small but powerful pony cars. Ford was a pioneer in international expansion as well. Ford models have dominated the European market for years, offering distinctly different vehicles than those available in North America, helping the Ford empire remain one of the largest automakers in the world. One of the most recognizable silhouettes of all time, the Volkswagen Beetle has transcended the auto world and become a pop culture icon. Volkswagen is German for the people's car, and it was designed to be just that: simple, practical, and easy for the average worker to buy. Originally called the Type 1, it was the only car manufactured by Volkswagen for the first 3 decades of the company. It was officially renamed the Beetle in 1967. The baby boomer generation soon fell in love with the mechanical simplicity and reliability of the Beetle. It took on an anti-establishment image, with the small, practical car becoming a symbol for those wanting to reject materialism. The car's popularity extended far beyond flower children, of course. With over 21 million Beetles made, Volkswagen has produced more cars from a single design than any other manufacturer. Founded in 1899 and inspired by the American Ford assembly lines, Fiat went into full production. The first step was to build the Lingato factory, the largest factory in Europe at the time, complete with a vehicle test track on the roof. The small cars that Fiat produced were a hit. At one point, 3 out of 4 cars on Italian roads was a Fiat. With the manufacture of tractors, vans, buses, and even aircraft, Fiat has become a symbol of Italian industry. Today, Fiat has a controlling interest in Maserati, Lancia, Alfa Romeo, and Ferrari. Race technology is shared between all these different companies in the quest to build better and faster cars. Fiat has also acquired the Chrysler Group, including Jeep, Ram, Dodge, SRT, and Mopar brands as well. From making small cars for the people to a portfolio of the world's most prestigious automobiles, Fiat is a global player in the automotive world. Founded in Abarth is the performance tuning arm of Fiat, one of the largest automakers in the world. They were innovators among automaker-owned performance upgrade houses. In 1959, Abarth released the first affordable performance car for the masses, the Fiat 500. The car was a huge success, but the company would make an even bigger mark in another field, customizing. Their custom upgrade kits for the Fiat Topolino inspired countless aspiring racers to upgrade their base model cars to compete on the track. In the 1960s, Abarth became the racing department for Fiat, prepping the 124 and 131 rally cars. The team won over 800 races in 1967 alone, with cars on almost every track. Abarth has gone on to dominate the Italian tuning market since the 1960s, inspiring a number of other in-house tuning groups like AMG, Nismo, and SRT. A Designed to replace the Jeep, the High Mobility Multi-Purpose Wheeled Vehicle, or Humvee, has been the backbone of U.S. forces since the 90s. After serving honorably in the highly televised Gulf War and its popularity with Hollywood action star Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Humvee became a military celebrity. And, like the Jeep, such celebrity led to the release of a civilian model, the Hummer. Some creature comforts are not found in the military Humvee, like air conditioning and reclining seats, but underneath, very little has changed. With a sealed powertrain ventilation system and high mount air intake, the Hummer can ford up to 30 inches of water. And with a titanic ground clearance of 16 inches, the Hummer is the world's most serious 4x4. Despite General Motors discontinuing the Hummer in 2010, AM General continues to keep the brand alive by selling kit cars directly to the public with its original name, the Humvee. Since 1948, Land Rover has been building versatile off-road vehicles used by everyone from farmers to royalty. From the start, Land Rover has been a pioneer in 4x4 innovation. They were the first to install anti-lock brakes and automatic electronic air suspension on an off-road vehicle. Over the years, Land Rover has led the way in motorsports as well, launching the Land Rover Camel Trophy, one of the most demanding off-road endurance races, testing car and driver under the harshest conditions. Land Rover was even named the official off-road vehicle of Britain's royal family. They are the only manufacturer to have 4 royal warrants to its credit, providing cars to the Queen, the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Charles, and the late Queen Mother. Today, Land Rover continues their commitment to helping drivers get to the most inaccessible places in the world. SRT is the performance division within the Chrysler Group, with roots dating back to the 1950s, when a small team of engineers got together to generate more power from Dodge Hemi engines. Though operating under different names throughout their history, they became officially known as SRT in 2004. Using several race-proven techniques, including higher output engines, lighter wheels, tuned suspensions, and wind tunnel-tested aerodynamics, SRT models get a massive edge on competitors, costing many times their price. But SRT isn't just in the business of tuning existing cars. In 1992, the team shocked the world by creating the Dodge Viper, an American supercar with a V10 engine that was so extreme, several journalists refused to test drive it, believing it was beyond their capabilities to control. That legacy of power and performance carries on today as SRT applies their skills to many cars in the Chrysler Group's lineup. When Subaru was founded in 1954, they were known mostly for their quirky, dependable cars. This soon changed with the formation of their performance division, Subaru Technica International. STI is now world famous for turning standard model Subarus into highly tuned off-road rally vehicles. STI builds most cars around the Boxer engine, which allows a lower mounting to give the car a low center of gravity. They also use symmetrical all-wheel drive to boost performance and improve safety. In 1989, STI teamed up with UK-based ProDrive to create the ultimate Subaru rally car, the Impreza. Led by legendary rally driver Colin McRae, the Subaru team won the World Rally Championship Manufacturers title 3 years in a row. STI cars have gone on to win 46 WRC rallies, the most of any Japanese automaker. The Lotus E21 Formula One car is designed and built by the Lotus F1 team in Enstone, England. It features a state-of-the-art molded carbon fiber and aluminum honeycomb composite monocoque chassis designed to maximize strength while minimizing weight. It is powered by a mid-mounted Renault 2.4-liter V8 engine that revs up to 18,000 RPM. Modern Grand Prix cars are the pinnacle of automotive technology, and both car and driver are subjected to extreme forces and temperatures on the track. The driver can experience forces of up to 5 Gs under braking. The exhaust gases reach temperatures of 900 degrees Celsius at full throttle, while brake discs can reach 1100 degrees Celsius during a race. To ensure reliability and performance under these conditions, Lotus put over 250,000 man-hours into the design of the E21. And to build one from scratch takes a team of 150 people, 7 days. Le Mans prototypes, or LMPs, are a special class of race cars designed specifically for endurance racing. LMP cars are fast, expensive, and above all, built to withstand the brutal punishment dished out at the legendary 24 Hours of Le Mans. LMPs are some of the fastest closed-wheel cars in circuit racing today, but they're also the most durable, able to hold up under the grueling pressure of Le Mans. Engines, gearboxes, and other systems must run for 24 hours without failing. Drivers and their teams must work together under extreme conditions for extended periods of time, adapting to every possible worst-case scenario from car damage to driver fatigue. Le Mans prototypes need to be as efficient as possible. This has led to the development of alternative drivetrains and engines, such as biodiesel fuel and advanced hybrid technology, in order to reduce time-consuming pit stops.